Welcome to Senior's Last Word. This week, we are talking Champions League. It's back, but this time, it's winner stays. As teams take on each other, including Inter Milan and Liverpool, which is, I think, the big one this week, it's time to look at who is likely to go through and who will actually stay. Senior's Last Word is going to make his predictions. And by the time of this video, you will know my take on the last 8 teams in the Champions League 2021-2022. It's the round of 16. We need to look in depth and see who actually is likely to qualify for the quarterfinals. For a beginning, 4 teams coming from the Premier League, the best represented at this stage. 3 from La Liga. That's quite something. We are not probably used, not in recent years. 2 from Serie A, 2 from Bundesliga, and 2 from Portugal. Maybe that is the real surprise this particular season. Only 1 from the Dutch League. In the end, we've got to have 8 teams going through. So certainly, we could end up a situation where no league will be represented in the next round. And methinks at least 2 leagues will not be represented. So let's begin by first looking at the big games in the round of 16. There is none bigger than PSG taking on Real Madrid, the record winners, 13 titles in all, taking on a team that has won nothing in history. And yet in recent years, 5 or 6 years, PSG has come not just good on the field of play, they are winning everything in France, but they are yet to win something in the Champions League, and that's the Achilles heel. Will they go one better this time, having finished in the final and lost to Bayern Munich 2 seasons ago, and also in the semi-finals last season? Will they go one better this time and actually win it? I want to give you my thinking, and here we go. PSG, the first to host Real Madrid this time around. It's hard to tell, but just as a reminder, something has changed in the format this season. No longer are we going to be looking at away goals rule. It's fallen by the wayside. Now, if 2 teams end up drawing after the second legs, they will be going for extra time, 30 minutes. After that extra time, if still neither of the teams has outscored the other, we go and pursue the route that we all know now, the penalties. So it's no longer going to be necessary to focus so much on how many goals you score away from home, because it no longer gives you an advantage. What you need to do starting from this season is to win your games. Just outscore your opponent, because it no longer matters. And that is something you all must remember. It no longer matters how many goals you scored away. What matters is who outscores the other once it gets to extra time. And if you still are tied, then we go for penalties. Doesn't matter who played at home first, we will go for penalties. The team that wins penalties is the one that goes through the next stage. Now, that was important before I analyzed PSG and Real Madrid. On paper, balanced, perfectly balanced. Neither team really has having an edge over the other. We know that PSG at the moment have probably the highlight or the best player so far this season, maybe the inform player as well, and that is Kylian Mbappe, who is really doing everything right. He's scoring goals, he's assisting, recently winning also an award in the FIFA Men's Player of the Year. But you know, he's been consistent, really. He's really been consistent. He's good, he's young, he's ready to go. He's ended up on the disappointing note in twice now, you know, in the semi-finals last season and the season before that in the final. Is this the season to feel motivated, because he is playing perhaps his best football since the World Cup in 2018, and maybe he feels that way. But he has Lionel Messi alongside him. Messi may not be scoring really so much in the league. He only has 2 goals, but he is assisting as always. As expected, he is assisting and scoring those goals. So hopefully he will come good when he's needed to come good. So far, 7 assists in the league. Who says he's not going to do better in the Champions League? But besides those 2, I've got to mention PSG are so good in attack that even Angel Di Maria, who we are beginning to forget about, is still that important and that influential in terms of assisting and moving forward. I think that one as well adds to it. But how can I not mention the player we all love to be at his best? Because when he is at his best, he's such a joy to watch, Neymar Jr. It's hard these days to see or to decide how to rate him, because he doesn't score as many goals as he used to when he was still at Barcelona, or even his first or second year at PSG. But he's still the player, flamboyant, and that's all the magical Brazilian things that we know he does. But Neymar Jr. is still in there, hasn't scored really that much this season, 3 goals, 3 assists, but his interplay when he's in there, playing alongside Messi and Neymar Jr., Di Maria comes in, there is Verratti there in midfield. I mean, this team is something. This team is really something. So who do we think really is going to edge? If you look at Real Madrid, they have probably similar strengths, because in attack, they're awesome really. The Frenchman, the one we all think he's edging, he's really not edging and not going anywhere. Karim Benzema, already leading the goals charts. This guy is incredible. Already leading the goals charts with 17 league goals. But guess what? Even in terms of assists, he is the leader in the league. So he has 17 goals in the league, 7 assists. And if you look at his Champions League form as well, really great. But alongside Karim Benzema, there is this young man, Junior, Vinicius Junior. What a season he's having. He has finally come good. Still a young man, but he's completely matured, and now he's ready to take on the world. Not just Europe, but on the world. He has 12 goals in the league, and he has good assists there as well. Believe me, 5 assists. So it is him and Benzema who are dominating the Spanish league, but they've also been doing very well in the Champions League. Now, when you consider that midfield, the Real Madrid midfield is something to talk about. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Isco, they are wonderful. Perhaps for me, the best midfield in European football. They are really good. Luka Modric on his own, in terms of assists, his maturity, his age, he's past his prime, but he's still that good. And by the way, he thinks he still has 3 or 4 more years in him, and who says no? But these guys are Toni Kroos in terms of the vision and passing and controlling midfield. Who does better than that guy? Now, when you add their midfield and then the attack, that is Real Madrid, you look on the other side on PSG, very little to choose from. Very little to choose from. And at the back, believe me, lately PSG have improved, because even this season, you won't believe it, PSG have the best defense in League One. So these are two teams going at each other, but the history may tell us something different, because they have never won the Champions League. When you play Real Madrid in the form they are, Carlo Ancelotti back in the dugout with all his experience and with everything he knows how to turn things around. He knows when to play good football, he knows when to play tactical football, he knows when he's playing against the big teams what to do, how to cancel out which team. Ancelotti is one of the best, if not the best. He's won the Champions League several times before with different teams. This guy in the Champions League, I think is awesome. I mean, consider the guy he's going to play against. That is Pochettino, the coach of PSG. That is the weakness. Pochettino had a chance to win. He couldn't go all the way last season. Pochettino couldn't go all the way last season when you thought he had a team to do exactly that. So you wonder whether it is his next place. Remember Pochettino as well, when he was with Spurs about 3-4 seasons ago, when his team were beaten in the final by Liverpool, you thought his problem was again the lack of experience in Europe and in this kind of competition. Very big, and Spurs not up there in the recent past, and he's got to work himself up to match the very best. So in the end, these two teams are equally matched, but unfortunately only one of them can go through. PSG, Real Madrid. For me, from where I see it, when I look at the two, I look at the inherent strength of Real Madrid, which is the experience, the fact that they're traditional winners. They didn't do well last season. They are firing on all cylinders this season. They've been able this time around to do away with the aging players, the ones that have really are now above 35 plus. They're relying more on youth plus the experience that they have. Their mix is wonderful. Yes, PSG as well. Their team has gained experience over the last 2 seasons because they played the final, they played the semi-finals. They still fallen short. But Messi is Messi, as we know, and Mbappe is Mbappe. The difference though is Messi is not the Messi we used to see 2-3 seasons ago. Messi is past his best. He will do the assists. He can no longer run. He's still dynamic when he gets the ball. He still has the vision. Give him a free kick, he'll put it away. But in terms of game involvement and in terms of the way now opponents look at him, they can handle him. He's no longer intimidating. He's no longer the player you say, wow, and you can't even get near him. No, now players don't fear him anymore. And when you consider that he's going to be playing against Real Madrid, a team that played against him so many times when he was at Barcelona, the arch rivalry between Barcelona and Madrid, Real Madrid know now how to handle Messi very well. There's so many derbies that they had. Some games Messi winning, others Real Madrid winning, but he's going to play against a team that has no fear at all. They just have no Messi fear factor in them. So for me, over 2 legs, because I've got to predict this over 2 legs, not just one. Over 2 legs, I think Real Madrid is the team that will go through, and PSG unfortunately will not be able to make the quarterfinals. We go to the big one, the other one, which is Inter Milan and Real Madrid and Liverpool. Inter Milan and Liverpool, 2 big games as well. Inter Milan second right now as I do this video in Serie A. Liverpool second as well in the league. Either of them still has a good chance to go all the way and contest for that championship at home in England and Italy. No question about that. But Inter lately improving, especially the balance between their attack and defense, because this season Inter are the best attacking side in Serie A. Believe me, they've scored even more goals than Liverpool. For example, 55 goals in Serie A this season against Liverpool's 51. Now that doesn't happen often. Defensively, they are still among the best in terms of defending back there. But Liverpool as well, the defense has been flawless, lost only 2 games. By the way, Inter has also just lost 2 games in the league. So you can find that their league form, their home form is probably balanced, equally good, both still chasing for the title, no question. And they have individuals there who have really, really been shining and standing out in terms of balance. You think that Salah in Liverpool, Salah, Diego Jota, Mane as usual. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, who are really leading assists left, right, and center. Salah scoring the goals. Liverpool are so good going forward, and they have this ability to create from all corners, from all areas of the field. You think that is going to be a handful, and they've got a new player, Diaz, who is, I think, eligible to play beginning from this particular round. He's been at Porto doing very well, the best there, and he's bringing useful experience. He's so quick with the feet, he has fleet feet, he's so industrious, his technical skills are so good. He joins Liverpool now. They go and they want to go fast in Italy. The reverse game will be in Anfield in England, and that is the advantage. But just for you to remember, Liverpool won all their games, 6 of them in the qualifying stage. They were by far the best team in a group that had been described as the group of death. It had Milan, it had Porto, and I think Atletico Madrid. And you thought that was quite something, but they just swept through that competition in the group stages just because they have too much experience in the Champions League. Already Klopp has won it. They've been contesting at the highest level. They've been there almost all the time. They have a team that has been playing in that championship throughout and getting as far as the group stages and knockout stages, the quarterfinals. They've been there. They're doing it. They're still hungry, and Liverpool is made for this kind of competition. Inter Milan, perhaps the disappointment, because even when they've had good seasons, they are reigning Italian champions, for example. But in the qualifiers, they were in a group which also had Real Madrid. They struggled. They lost twice and drew once. You thought that in a season when they're doing so well at home in Serie A, they should have done better in the qualifiers in the group stage of the Champions League. But perhaps that's the difference. When it comes to the Champions League, Inter Milan are not a Champions League team. Yes, they've won it before. They did win it the last time, winning it with Jose Mourinho. You say they have that pedigree, but they're not a regular campaigner. They're not a team whose players are so used at that level in that campaign. So you think sometimes they get intimidated, and that's what fails them. This time around, having struggled in the group stages, they're going to play against Liverpool, who really were just flying in the group stages. They have the the confidence. They know they can beat. If you beat Inter Milan, no, if you beat AC Milan, if you beat Atletico Madrid, and you beat Porto, regular campaigners in the Champions League, and just sweep, literally walk over them before the knockout stages, you have confidence and you believe you can beat anyone. So that mental strength and psychological advantage is with Liverpool. Of course, also added to the fact that their players have so much experience now in the Champions League, regular campaigners, they are world class. They really know how to control games, how to dictate. Their manager is so full of experience. You think even though two of these teams, both of them are very good, one of them has to go, one of them has to stay. For me, over two legs, I think, and considering that the second leg is at Anfield, I give it to Liverpool to go past that one. So in those two games, which are the biggest games in this round, that is Inter Milan versus Liverpool and PSG versus Real Madrid, I give it to Real Madrid to qualify and to Liverpool to qualify in those two games. The others for me are clear-cut. Bayern Munich, Salzburg, Bayern all the way. Everything is in favor of Bayern. Not just experience and the pedigree, but looking at the form of the players, the individuals involved, Lewandowski, Muller, Thomas, this guy, assisting 17 assists. Lewandowski, 26 goals, by far the highest scorer in all leagues in Europe. This guy is so consistent. There are players like Gnabry. They're just too good. These are the Bayern Munich team. They've won in the last two seasons. They've been there in the semi-finals in the last two seasons. This team is just so good. You don't see Salzburg having a chance. So Bayern Munich for me, and Salzburg, Bayern Munich will go through there. Sporting and Manchester City. Manchester City, obviously for me, will be the team to qualify there. No question. Man City, yes, they did lead a group, by the way, a group which had, guess who? Because when they were playing the qualifiers in the group stages, you didn't think that it was all easy, all simple. It wasn't that simple. But they led PSG in the qualifiers. They topped the group which had PSG. Now that tells you, even though they lost a game, Man City, the way they are doing in the Premier League, not really dominating, but they are leading there. They've been so consistent, winning games for fun and having a brilliant run. They have players there who have matured enough to rise and stand up when needed. You think Man City, also with experience in the Champions League over recent years, they've been getting to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, quarterfinals, semi-finals, quarterfinals, semi-finals. Repeatedly, that does something to a team. It helps your mentality, it strengthens your mentality, and even though they are yet to win this tournament, you think in terms of going far in the tournament, they are still one of those teams that are best to go there. Then we have Ajax taking on Benfica. Ajax as well led the group without losing a game. They actually won all 6 games in the group stages, and Ajax probably scored so many goals. They're second top scorers in the qualifiers. I think they scored 20 goals behind Bayern's 22. But also the way they conducted themselves in the qualifiers, they came good. What surprised me and what shocked me was the way they dispatched of Dortmund, who were in their group. They just dispatched them so comfortably, home and away. And they have right now the Champions League goal scorer, even as we go to the round of 16. But also you think they have pedigree. They're again perennial campaigners. They're always in there. Benfica for the last 10 years hasn't been the Benfica of old. This Benfica suffers. This Benfica lacks individuals. This Benfica is unpredictable. It just lacks the quality to sustain a campaign over time. And right now, I think again, over 2 legs, Ajax, Benfica, I see Ajax are the ones that will qualify. Chelsea, Lille, it's going to be Chelsea. Yes, newly crowned World Club champions. We know they are also reigning UEFA Champions League champions. You think they're third in the Premier League. Their players have learned how to win things. They become winners. The coach they have is a winner. The coach they have, by the way, Tuchel, he is the one who missed out on this particular title when he was at PSG 2 years ago in that defeat to Bayern. He's back with Chelsea. They've won in Europe now, winning the Super Cup, winning the World Club Cup, and now, of course, winning the Champions League with Chelsea. You can imagine having missed out on with PSG. Now the coach has experience. Now he's attained his name for Rio. He's earned his billing. Now he comes in and he wants to go one better. So I think between Chelsea and Lille, who are doing very, very badly this season, Lille may have won the championship in France last season, but they're doing so poorly this season. They're really, really pathetic. I think they are in 8th or 7th position. They have nothing good about them. The form is gone and they don't look like the team they were last season. There is no question for me. Chelsea is going to walk over Lille and qualify for the quarterfinals. Atletico Madrid and Man United, well, 2 teams that are really having very poor seasons at home. Atletico Madrid, the reigning reigning champions of Spain, very poor season they are having, and realistically and very, very unusually, they have the worst defense among the top 11 teams in Spain. When does that ever happen? Year in, year out, Atletico Madrid in Spain always have the best defense. If not Barcelona or Real Madrid, it's always Atletico. Their strength, the strength of their game has always been defending. They can't defend the football this season, and that's why they are suffering. And likewise, they can't score goals. So there's a problem with Atletico Madrid. They're just wicked. They're not the team we used to know. And they only qualified for this particular knockout stage in the final game. They finished they could have finished third in the group which had Liverpool, but in the end, on the last day, that's when they sneaked in to finish second. No question, they are really suffering. They're not good enough, and I don't see them going very far. But against Man United, for me, very, very poor Man United team, even though Cristiano Ronaldo has 6 goals among the top scorers in the Champions League this season. As a team, they are really poor. I do not see over 2 legs Man United, even though Atletico Madrid are poor, but tactically, I think I'm not convinced by Man United. They can't select their best team. They can't play their first football. They don't know what they need in this season. They're going to suffer. So over 2 legs, I see Atletico Madrid reigning there. So between these 2 teams, I see Atletico Madrid. And so for me, the last 8 teams, the teams that are going to qualify for the quarter-finals of the Champions League 2021-2022 are the following. It's going to be Bayern, Manchester City, Ajax, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and Real Madrid. So the Premier League will have 3 teams for me in the quarterfinals. Serie A, that is Italy, will have 1 team. Spain will have 2 teams. And Bayern Munich, which is German, will have 1 representation there. And of course, lastly, Holland will have 1 team. So I don't know. We still have to go. It's elimination, it's knockout. Who is better is the one we are all looking at. But for now, for me, as the Champions League resumes in the last round of 16, Senior's last word says that Bayern Munich, Man City, Ajax, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Liverpool, and Real Madrid will be the teams to play the quarterfinals. And then I'll return to predict the semi-finals, and from there probably the finals, and after the final as well. So let's enjoy the Champions League. It's the biggest European competition. It's one we all enjoy to see. We've had different winners. Last season it was Chelsea. The season before that it was Bayern Munich. The season before that it was Liverpool. So we are enjoying a new team almost every season now. It's becoming harder for teams to defend this particular title, and that's when we see the best players to look out for this particular round, and going forward until the finals, the players to look out for. Don't forget, it's Lewandowski, it's Kylian Mbappe, it's Mohamed Salah. These are the guys to look out for. These are the guys who are making it. Messi always comes good in the big competitions. Maybe he's gone now to really rise and shine and probably return to his best form. Who knows? At the end of the day, it's hard to tell who the best player in Europe at the moment is, but there's no better way to find out than the Champions League. So let's go. PSG, Real Madrid. For me, over 2 legs, it will be Real Madrid. Inter, Liverpool. Over 2 legs for me, it will be Liverpool. And that's my last word. Goodbye.